Hello and welcome to Top Story. After more than 4 months of fruitless wranglings over Kosovo's future, negotiations end today. Representatives from Serbia and its breakaway province are wrapping up talks in Vienna with no consensus in sight. It's their last face-to-face meeting before international mediators present their conclusions to the United Nations on December the 10th. Barring a miracle, their report is a foregone conclusion. But that doesn't mean the process is dead. Brussels could still dangle the carrot of EU membership to nudge Serbia towards a deal. And the European Union can also use its leverage on Kosovo to stave off any rash declaration of independence. To discuss these matters, I'm joined now by Jacqueline Derrans from the Balkans Courier daily newspaper. Thank you very much for being on Top Story today. So the latest we're hearing is there's no deal. What do you think could happen next?
Well, of course, there's no deal, you see, for the time being. Everybody, stands on its positions. For Kosovo, it's independence and nothing else. And for Serbia, it's everything else but independence, you see. That's the situation. So now, of course, you see, the Troika will hand up its report on the 10th of December. But there will be no decision taken there. It will be just, to say, well, that's a failure. Let's go on. And there are some other very important meeting, like on the 13th of December, there will be a summit of the European Union, which is very important. But at this meeting, you see, we know that some European countries are completely opposed to the independence. So will they show their division at this European summit? Nobody knows, of course.
Countries like Cyprus, Romania, Spain.
Yeah, you see. Yeah, they don't want independence because for various reasons. So, and then on the 19th of December, the Security Council will have to take a decision, but most likely it will not take a decision. It will say, we can't come to a conclusion, but maybe we can go on with discussion. But the point is that neither the Kosovo politicians nor the Serbs want any more discussions. For them, you see, they have discussed enough.
Well, you mentioned, sorry if I just butt in, the 19th of December. That's presumably when the Serbian Prime Minister Vojislav Koštunica will insist that this process end in the United Nations with Russian backing in the Security Council.
Yeah, probably. You see, that's a very likely scenario. And then, you see, there's other very practical question, you see. The OSCE, the mandate of the OSCE ends at the end of the year. And to renew this mandate, it means that everybody should agree. And for the time being, there are a lot of division shown.
How important is the OSCE's mission?
They're very important because, that's a sort of people that can look after, peace and stability. And their role is very important. And if they leave the country, there will be no mediators and no control of the situation. Another point is if there is no conclusion, what will happen to the KFOR? Because the KFOR needs Serbia for its logistics, you see, and Serbia could be a real nuisance. They can block the roads, they can do, everything. You can imagine a lot of things.
So it's the EU summit which is actually key for you because that will decide the future, effectively, of the OSCE and KFOR, which is providing the police backup.
It's very important.
Kosovo.
Just imagine that some of the vehicles of the KFOR are blocked by the Serbian army. You see, there will be no war because nobody wants a war, of course. It's out of the question. But there are a lot of ways to act as a real nuisance.
And in January, we have another key date in Serbia.
Very important key date, that's the presidential elections. And of course, just imagine, it will be the worst scenario possible. Just imagine that Kosovo said, okay, we are fed up with all the discussion, we declare our independence. The first scenario, there were talks, rumor about declaring independence at mid-January before the elections. But then, all the UN or the European Union will say to the Kosovo, just wait a little while, because just imagine for Serbia, it will be terrible to have those elections after Kosovo has declared its independence, because it
create a
will push
vacuum
up
for-
the radical forces, you see, and nobody wants a radical to come into power in Serbia, and they are very powerful. So that's a problem. And in Kosovo itself, you see, there's a problem of all those radical groups, you see, of the Albanian army, national army, you see. Nobody knows exactly. There are even groups, independent groups, and those people, well, we know they've got their weapons, everybody knows.
You're talking about former KLA guerrillas?
Former
KLA,
KLA guerrillas, you see. I mean, it's very easy for them to take up arms again and to have some sort it's very easy to have a group of young people, of idle young people, you see, and to take them, and then we'll have a riot and nobody knows how it will end.
So on the one hand, we have probably the European Union saying, please wait a little longer, and hoping that something will happen after the Serbian elections. On the other hand, we have impatience in Kosovo, and people saying that the situation can't go on for very long in Kosovo.
That's it, you see. And of course, it's very difficult to know what will those people in Kosovo. I mean, the ordinary people are really fed up with the situation, because, the thing is that everybody says it can't go on like this. But nobody knows how we can stop this sort of limbo situation, you see, and then start a real future for Kosovo, except that, of course, the people living in Kosovo want independence, except for the Serbs, of course, you see. But it's a situation which can't last. So there will be some solution to be found, but which solution, it's very difficult. And of course, the other aspect of it is on the whole region, because those armed groups, some of them are in Macedonia as well, you see, and they're ready to take up arms, you see. And you've got the question of Bosnia. What will happen to the Republic of Srpska?
Absolutely, with the Serb part, threatening to go it alone.
The Serb Republic, you see, in Bosnia, they will say, okay, if Kosovo is independent, why not us?
Absolutely.
You see? So it means really it's a very delicate situation to handle, and
for the whole region.
For the whole region.
Okay. We'll have to leave it there. I'm sorry, we do have more we could cover, but that was Jacqueline Derrance from the Balkans Courier talking about the Kosovo conundrum. Do join us for Top Story at the same time tomorrow here on France 24.